Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Salomon Assassin Pro. That's right, the big brother to the regular Assassin. This board features Salomon's rock-out camber, which is flat through the insert section, then it comes down, and then there's a little bit of rocker in the tip and the tail. Basically, it's Cam Rocker 2.0 with a more mellow camber section. You're still going to get that load and pop of traditional camber, but you're going to get a little bit more play and ease of entry into the turns due to the rocker in the nose and the tail. This board is available in 150, 153, 156, 159, 162, 165, 158 wide, 163 wide. I rode this board at Arapahoe Basin on a sunny bluebird day, 0 winds, warmer temps, soft creamy groomers, slush, chunder, fast snow, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. Alright, so this board has a middle of the road all mountain freestyle flex, softer in the nose and the tail, slightly stiffer through the midsection, with a fair amount of torsional flex. Nothing revolutionary here, people. Okay. Now when it comes to stability, you do get some chatter out in the tip and you will slightly feel that underfoot. It does an okay job of dissipating it, but it's nothing revolutionary. And when you get into rutted out terrain, you notice that the midsection through the inserts is really the most stable portion of this board. It does a decent job of just absorbing those bigger hits so that you don't wash out. But if you do rock yourself into some really uneven frozen terrain, you're probably going to feel it. So keep those knees bent and just be prepared for it. Alright, so the snap is there in this board. The camber profile is easy to load up, so when you do, it's really reactive. It pops exceptionally well. You can boost off of a roller, side hit, cat track gap, what have you. Now, as this year isn't like normal years, there were no jumps for me to hit, so I kind of had to just go launch some mega side hits and see how they took it. And they did well. I've ridden this board in the past. I know it can hit small to large jumps. I don't worry about it popping off the lip. It'll do the same for you. It's got exceptional snap, so if you really pop off the lip, you're just gonna get higher with it. Overall, it's a great board for getting in the air. Slightly softer tips and rocker. Now we're talking about something that's gonna be buttery. Personally, I think this board really comes alive when you're doing high-speed butters, you know, like you're flying, you pop a backside 180, you land on the nose, you really press into it, and then the rebound from the camber section takes over and it pops you back, or you're going, you get sideways on the tail, a little bit heel heavy, so that way you don't catch your toe edge. It locks in. This board is fun for it, but you retain that rebound from the center of the board. There is a flex point right where the camber comes down into that rocker section, so you want to make sure your weight is outside of it. But basically, if you know how to butter, you're not going to have a problem. If you don't know how to butter, it's time to learn. With jibbing, you need to understand how to finesse this board just a little bit. It's a little more demanding than the regular Assassin, so you want to get your weight out over the nose or the tail. You want to be a little more muscular with it and just push into it and be prepared for that camber section to fight you. And if you're not prepared, be prepared to have soggy ass presses. This is a board that it's a little bit more demanding, but for what it is, it's fine. Like, you can do a high speed 5.0 on this thing. You can do a tail press. You can lock into a nose press. And when you get sideways, that camber section is a little stiffer. So you're doing a little bit of a balance act on it, but it still slightly caresses around the rail and you don't have to worry too much about it. Basically, in my opinion, it's more like a slope style jib board than a full-blown jib board. And if you're a laid back or lazy jibber, you probably want to look at like a Villain or a Sleepwalker from Salomon instead of this. There's a smooth and fluid nimbleness for this board when you get it on edge. You just notice how quickly it transitions, and when you're carving with it, it feels like a board that you've ridden 100 to 1,000 times, whether it's your first carve or your 10,000th carve. It just feels that way. Now, you do steer a little bit more underfoot due to the camber profile, the side cut, and the shaping in there. And what's nice is you can do quick carves with very minimal ankle adjustments on this board. But if you want to lay it over, go for it, because you're going to get that power and drive out of the tail to push you through it. This is something that lacks on the regular Assassin, but the Assassin Pro retains that power so you can really push it through a turn. And when you're in uneven terrain, this board just cuts through all that chop with ease. Now, I will say, knowing this side cut, if you're on straight sheet ice, it really doesn't grip that well, but any type of snow that you can set an edge in, it's great because it will grip. You'll be able to do those short, tight, quick carves or long, hard, drawn out ones. It's not really gonna matter. Who's this board for? The all-mountain freestyle guy. I've pretty much ridden every iteration of this board since it's come out. Every generation has a different refinement to it. Some years it's better than others. This one is really good. But what I like about it is the fact that for the most part, it's consistent. It's a board you can grab off the wall, walk out, and ride everything with. Don't sleep on the Assassin Pro. This is a good board. Comparable boards: the Jones Mountain Twin, the K2 Broadcast. Binding recommendations: the Salomon Hologram, the K2 lineup, the Rome Vice. This has been my review of the Salomon Assassin Pro. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.